Hi there. Had a few more questions about the 1980s Trangia. So I've got it from my mum and dad's house. We can have another look and see some of the differences between the old model and the newer one. Here it is. I've used it a few times now, most recently in my lentil video. So if you check that out, you can see it in use. Here's the strap. Take that off. It's quite old. As I say, I think it's from the early 80s. Take that off. You can see the original kind of Trangia logo and strap. Bit rusty on the end, but it still, well, as you can see, still holds up. Still keeps everything together. So in the standard set, you've got the frying pan or lid, can operate as both. Then we've got the kettle. It's got 1 pan, 2 pans, slightly larger, and then the actual cooker base itself. So some of the differences, really, I mean, fundamentally, it's pretty much the same. The concept's very much the same. And I'll show you in a bit, a lot of the parts are actually interchangeable. You can use the pans, everything with the new version. It's not really changed in size or dimensions at all. Most of the changes are on this bit. You've got the rivety kind of join bit for the strap there. And you've got no extra hole for the Trangia gas system, but fundamentally same concept. You've got the base you put on the lid, you've got the burner. Look at that in a bit more detail in a second. Get it up back, the burner, and the handle. So burner, fill that with meths or some kind of alcohol, fill that in there, and that goes on. That goes in the middle, and you can light it and have a look there. Focusing on some of the differences, I mean, there aren't many. If we start with the frying pan lid, main thing, if I get my newer one, here's the new lid, here's the old lid. The new one's got this kind of rolled edge, so that's one difference. Old one, I'll try and get a good profile shot. It's a lot thinner, a bit sharp, almost sharp. I mean, I wonder if that's why they changed it, if that was rubbing on a bit of material. Maybe it could cause it to fray or cause some damage, but I don't really know why they've changed that. The only other thing, which I think I highlighted in my other video, is the weight difference. There's just more metal in this one, so it will retain heat longer. Might take slightly longer to warm up, but if you look at this one, which by my mum and dad at least has probably been used far more than my one that's only a couple of years old, still very flat and round. There's no flex at all. My more modern one, a couple of years old, you can just hear there, can't you? There's much more give in the metal. I've taken it out quite a lot, and it's a lot more kind of deformable. It's been bashed about a bit, still mostly round, but longevity wise, I mean, this one's doing great. The other difference is the burner and the simmering. So the other difference is the older burner. The actual burner itself looks identical. The simmering's different, so it's got this kind of clasp. So the simmering is always attached, whereas on the newer one, you kind of pull it on and off, and this you can flip over. So that's really useful if it's getting a bit hot, or you don't need to cook something on full power for so long. You just flip that over, and it dampens the oxygen and just cools down the flame of it. But obviously this mode is a bit all or nothing. It's either on or it's off. A more modern one, this is the simmering here. So you see it completely comes off, it just fits over. If you have get that open, you take the lid off, then that just sits on there loose. It will come off, but you can control how much of the kind of burning surface is visible and how much air is getting in. So you've got a bit more control with the new one, but this is a bit more losable. I guess this is clipped on. So pros and cons. The only thing I would note is we replaced the O-ring. They have a little rubber seal in there with a modern one, and it is a bit loose. So maybe the dimensions are slightly different over the decades, but it's still completely fine. It seals it still really well. So if you are going out on a walk, you can just fill that up, and you've got enough to cook with for long going. The handles, old handle, new handle, barely any difference. Then we can use either one with either. And that actually highlights the other main difference, which is that the base on the old one doesn't have the catching mechanism. So there's just a complete round piece there. They slot on really well, but there's nothing that keeps them together. If I get my new one, kettle, pretty much identical. My one's still got the plastic kind of heat guard on there. Can't remember if the old one had that originally or not. And I don't actually know if you can get replacements. The two bowls, pretty much identical. And actually on the old one, look, I mean, that had the lipped edge too. So obviously that technology existed in the 1980s, but they didn't use it on the frying pan. On the new one, you can see there the kind of cutouts, and on the base you've got the nodges there that it slots into. You've got the gas hole, which I mentioned before. That's where the cord for the tube for the gas burner goes, and the ribbon holders are just sort of pressed out of the material. So the main difference with the modern one is you line up the notches, and then old one, two parts are separate, whereas this, if you knocked it over, it stays together. But that actually doesn't really stop the things being interchangeable. If you had part of an old set, they can't. Yeah, that's sort of. I mean, that goes on there well enough, and that goes on there well enough. So you can mix and match if you've got a bit of an old set, or found one maybe for sale. It would be worth buying it, and you can just swap out with any modern bits and build up a set that you need. A few people have asked, like, should you buy an old one over a new one? I mean, if you can find an old one, then go for it. I think sustainability is really good, and they obviously last a lifetime. So I'd definitely consider getting a used one that's in good condition and got the bits, and even if it's missing something, handle or the kettle, you can buy all the individual bits relatively easily, and they all still work together. So you could build yourself a set pretty affordably and take it. If you can't find an old one, I mean, the new ones are still great, and it's probably worth buying one now, because I imagine in 20 years I'll do a video comparing a 2020's Trangia to a 2040 Trangia, and I can't even imagine what will be different. It'll be nice, I'm sure, to have one from this period. So yeah, if you've got any specific questions, let me know in the videos. If there's anything you'd like to see me cook in the 1980s Trangia, I was thinking of doing some kind of 1980s food, maybe potato smiles or something, just to see if 1980s food tastes better on a 1980s Trangia. Who knows? Only one way to find out. So yeah, leave me a comment if you've got any good ideas. If you want to see my recipes, check out the website, and you can buy the Forest Pot Cookbook now, which has got quite a few of my recipes all there that you can take and use. So yeah, leave me any comments if you've got any further questions. Can do another follow-up video. Thank you very much for watching.